What's up, guys, boys and girls, fellow collectors from all around the world? Yvan Seb, the French collector, is back for yet another video, guys. For the first time in the history of my channel, behind the camera is my buddy Thibaut. Thibaut, say hello.
Hello.
Okay, so guys, you don't know Thibaut. Thibaut is an old co-worker of mine from my previous job. And when I resigned 4 years ago, I was like, well, good riddance. At least I'm not gonna see you motherfuckers again. But this guy keeps harassing me, keeps calling me, won't leave me alone. Oh, by the way, so today we are unboxing this amazing statue that I pre-ordered. I don't know, when was that? Early 2020? Maybe 2021? I cannot remember. I was saying, this guy behind the camera, my buddy here, he's also some kind of collector. He collects 1/18 scale cars, but you know, these very luxury kind of cars.
CMC, Auto Art.
CMC cars. What else?
Auto Art.
Auto Arts. Well, these pricey cars, very detailed with real carpets. And he also collects, you know, vintage American road signs, gas station signs from the 50s. He even has a few vintage gas pumps and these Coca-Cola distributors, machines, whatever. Different kind of collection, but very nice nonetheless. Maybe someday we should go to his place and make a video there. Now, as for this, guys, my first love will always be movies, you know, music, pop culture. But something you may not know about me is that I have a huge passion for anything related to space, and especially the Apollo mission, the moon landing. And overall, I also want to say that this guy, Neil Armstrong, has always been one of my biggest sources of inspiration. I always admire people who, despite the shit thrown at them by life, they keep going through it until they reach victory, right? And for me, this guy is the biggest hero ever, right? Because this man went from the most horrible thing that could happen to someone, losing his baby girl, I think from brain cancer, if I remember well, to working so hard on this project for so many years, losing friends and co-workers in the process, until he achieved the biggest feat in mankind. So this man, not as just an astronaut, but as a man, Neil Armstrong is maybe my biggest hero. I just received it yesterday. This is crazy. So we're gonna unbox it, but first I'm gonna show you this beautiful box. This is obviously a picture of the statue with a bit of Photoshop here, because in the lens you don't see the guy who took the picture. You actually see the lunar surface, deep space, with the American flag here on the right side, the moon here. Actually, I'll show you exactly where the first Apollo 11 mission landed. It was exactly right here. Yeah, plus près, Thibaut. This is where we landed for the first time, right here. Apollo 11 landing site was here. The Sea of Tranquility. More artwork on the back. Another picture of the statue, the moon here. So beautiful box. But of course, what we want to see is what's inside, right? So this thing is huge as hell. I've collected for almost 20 years, but for the first time in my life, this was delivered to me on a freaking wooden pallet. The carrier called me yesterday asking me when and where do I want to be delivered. So I said, you know what, I'm just gonna come to your warehouse and pick it up myself. We had to take it off the pallet. It barely fit in my car. The reason why this came on a pallet was not so much because of the size of the box. I've had bigger boxes in my life. The Blitzway Ecto 1, that box was bigger, obviously. It's more because of the weight. The weight of this box is crazy. 55 kilos, guys. The weight of this box is more than half that of mine. It's crazy. Freaking insane. So here we have pins in there. We'll see in a minute what's that for. I love these straps that Blitzway provides with all their boxes. Now I know a few collectors have received their broken, it was damaged. I hope we're not gonna run into bad surprises. The moment of truth. Are you ready, Thibaut?
Yes.
I hope nothing's damaged. Jeez. Oh my God, that's beautiful. So, oh, everything seems to be intact. Woo! So, let me put this on the floor so we can unbox everything on this, assemble everything on this coffee table. This is absolutely beautiful. Oh my God, this vase is freaking heavy as hell already. Okay. I'll show all the details later on. First, I'm just gonna show the assembly. There will be a review in a couple minutes. Let us just first assemble this. But that stand, that base is absolutely stunning and heavy as hell. This part here now. So this, I'm wearing my gloves, but this is plastic, right? Next step, the Lunar Module ladder. Wow. Fuck yeah. Amazing. This goes into here like I love the smell of new statues. So, well, it's very well protected. Damn. Not a single problem whatsoever. Fucking hell. Ça c'est pas cool par contre. Now this is what really sucks now. This was applied on the statue and the paint wasn't dry yet. And now a bit of paint came off. So let's do it again here. Fucking hell. And same problem on the blue paint. Fucking hell. And again. Damn it. This is the tether, which has a wire inside, so you can bend it, you can pose it as you like. Oh my goodness. Fuck. Sweating like always. When I unbox these statues, I'm always really stressed, scared that something will break or is already broken, whatever. So everything seems to be fine, except that paint coming off. The assembly is now done. Thank you, dude, for helping me. And now he's gonna give me the phone and I will start giving you close shots of this statue. We're gonna review it. There are some interesting things to mention here. But overall, it's really beautiful. Well, can I say I am over the moon with it? Before I review this, I'm gonna review it myself. I'm gonna hold the camera now. My friend over there is leaving now. He's in a hurry. Bye, Thibaut.
Bye.
Thanks for your help. Alone at last. So now I'm gonna review this piece. It's absolutely gorgeous. There are a few things to say about it though. So I made a big mistake, but I did that mistake on purpose. I assembled this statue not as it's supposed to be, but I assembled it exactly as shown and explained in the instructions. So I'm going to show you something right now. Now, as much as I love Blitzway, they really need to do their homework. In the instructions, they tell you to hook up that tether to this ring over here. Now, I'm going to show you why that's absolutely wrong and why this would have killed the astronauts, probably. This in the back is the PLSS, Personal Life Support System. This part in the front is the PLSS RCU, Radio Controlled Unit. In this part of the PLSS, we have the OPS, Oxygen Purge System. And this ring in the front is actually the OPS actuator. So we're gonna unhook this because this is clearly not where it goes. This is supposed to go to this tether right here. And that's how it's supposed to be. That's how it was actually. Now this suit is so accurate. They even have underneath here, can you see it? They even have this little pouch which was used to, once untethered, they would fold this part of the tether and put it in here. This is how it would look like. See? Tether was put in there, in this pouch. It's quite scary, guys. This looks really fragile. One inaccuracy is that tether going up the ladder here is white when actually it was brown. I don't know if I will leave it as is or maybe someday change it to the right color. Now you can call this an inaccuracy, but that tether is hooked up to the ladder when actually it went all the way up inside the LM. That hook, it was hooked up inside the Lunar Module. Again, you can't call this an inaccuracy because here we only have the foot of the LM, right? Imagine, look at the size of that foot. Imagine what a 1/4 scale LM would look like. So right here, you will see the Apollo 11 mission logo on this patch. On the other side is the NASA logo, but because of licensing reasons, obviously, Blitzway were not able, they were not allowed, well, first of all, to sculpt a Neil Armstrong head sculpt. It would have been nice to have one right here, you know, just to lift that visor to reveal a Neil Armstrong head sculpt. But also, they were not able to add Neil Armstrong's name. It doesn't appear anywhere on that statue. It would have been right here behind the RCU, actually between the RCU and the suit. So this one, you wouldn't be able to see it anyway, but also it would appear right here on the left side of the RCU, somewhere in the gloves, and also in the back of that PLSS. Now, a lot of people are actually saying, there's a debate online. People are saying this is actually not a statue of Neil Armstrong. This is a statue of Buzz Aldrin. As much as I love and admire Buzz Aldrin, this makes no sense at all. Why would a company celebrate the second step on the moon rather than the first one? This is clearly Neil Armstrong. The pose is exactly the same. Just check that footage again. That's exactly how he was standing, stepping on the moon for the first time. But why are people thinking this might be Aldrin? Well, it's because of that watch here, the Omega Speedmaster watch. Both astronauts had one, but only Aldrin was wearing it and took it with him outside the LM, wearing it on the lunar surface. Inside of the LM was a Bulova board clock. That was their mission timer, and it had started malfunctioning. So Neil Armstrong decided to leave his Omega Speedmaster watch inside the LM in case of them breaking both of their watches. They would have no mission timer anymore. So just by security, he left his watch inside the LM, but still he took it with him to the moon. So, you know, it's just as you want. If you want total accuracy, you can just take it off. And actually, this is what I'm gonna do right now. And you can still display it next to the statue, right? Because again, it was still part of the equipment on that mission. So it's funny because, again, because of licensing reasons, they couldn't put the Omega logo on there. And here it actually says Blitzway. But yeah, it's almost impossible to read it. Now here's another accessory that I absolutely love. They made it so accurate. This is a sample container. So you have the option to display it like this, just with the cap detached, you know, opened. The lid, I mean. Sample container opened. I'm still gonna remove it and display it again next to the statue because, again, for accuracy, he was not holding this at this precise moment. So now that I covered the accessories, I want to go more in depth with this statue right here. I'll let you pause the video so you can read what it says here. Again, no mention of Neil Armstrong, but yeah, at some point I'll probably get a custom plaque and I'll remove this one, glue a new one on there. It'll look nice. But yeah, the rest of the base is absolutely stunning. You have tons of little details here that actually represent different parts of the Saturn V rocket, such as here we have, I guess that's probably a window and the hatch of the command module. On the front part here, it says one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. Let me show you the back. An odd decision by Blitzway was to put that date and time on the stand, July 20th, 1969, 8:17 p.m. and 39 seconds, which is actually when the Eagle lunar module landed on the surface of the moon. But again, this is a statue showing Neil Armstrong's first step, which only happened the next day, July 21st. But again, that's just nitpicking right now. This thing is absolutely stunning, very nicely painted and sculpted. The lunar soil here, look at all these little details. It's beautiful. Maybe a bit too shiny, so at some point I might give this a matte finish. But other than that, really impressive. The footprint here looks very accurate as well. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Moving on now to that foot of the LM and the ladder. The ladder seems really high, but that's actually accurate. One of Neil Armstrong's first comment when he first stepped out, he told Buzz Aldrin, the foot hasn't collapsed too far. It's adequate to get back up, but it'll take a pretty good little jump. So that's exactly how high the ladder was. When I first saw pictures of the statue back in the day when it went up for pre-order, I really thought this looked so good. They're actually gonna put real foil around the foot, but it's not. It's polystone. It's hard polystone. This is sculpted, but it's so detailed. You would think it's actually a real foil. This was called Captain Foil, MLI, multi-layered insulation, which was silver color in the front and gold in the back. And it goes up all the way up to the top of the foot. Now that part of the lunar module, which was the lower part, the descent stage, never left moon. It's still up there. So on that foot they left this plaque. Here, men from the planet Earth first set foot on the moon, July 1969 AD. We came in peace for all mankind. Now, obviously, the real plaque had all three astronaut signatures as well as President Nixon's signature. But again, for licensing reasons, you won't have those signatures on here. Also, it should be noted that the plaque at this time, while Armstrong was going down the ladder, the plaque was still had its cover on it. And they removed the cover later on. If you're gonna have this on display, this plaque is so iconic, you don't want that cover on it, so no problem with that. Also, that ladder on here is missing the flag carrier. I don't mind that, no problem. But again, it's something quite easy to make yourself and add it later on. I'm gonna talk about the shoes now a bit, or more the overshoes, I should say, which are almost perfect. I'm saying almost because there's a slight little inaccuracy here. It's these little grooves in the front and that silicone part. They all have pretty much the same width and length, whereas on the real overshoes back in the day, not all of them would go all the way up. Some would stop around here, and some were thinner, were not as wide as the others. But again, that's just nitpicking. Other than that, absolute perfection. The buckle here, all of this is made of real fabric. The gloves, very accurate as well. They're sculpted, they're hard post stone, but very detailed, very accurate. We get the blue silicone gloves covered in woven stainless steel fabric. Now, just right now, I discovered something which is quite impressive. Blitzway really went to great lengths to make this statue as accurate as possible, even adding details that you're never gonna see because they're hidden by the fabric anyway. And still here they got something wrong. Let me show you. If you push up the sleeves here, they will reveal the aluminum connectors that will help locking the gloves to the rest of the suit. And yet, look at this. This is so impressive. Again, you're never gonna see this, but still, it's there. The aluminum connectors for the gloves. Beautiful. The only thing is that this one is the accurate color, whereas on the left arm, it's red as well when it should, in fact, be blue. In fact, the same kind of blue as these parts right here. But yeah, that's a detail. You're never gonna see it, but it's there, it's beautiful. And they also did it right here. The connection for the helmet, crazy. Let me remove this little part right here, lift it. Here you have the part that closes it, see that lock? Really impressive. Now here is the accurate sewn-on cuff checklist. Again, I'll let you pause and read. But one thing Blitzway forgot is on the other arm, right here, would be the suit pressure gauge, which was a small device that would be tucked in there. But you know, this thing is so intricate and filled with details and hidden gems that surely we can forgive Blitzway if they forgot a couple details. It's no biggie. This thing is fantastic. I have to take back what I said. I spent 10 minutes, you know, playing with this cloth and whatever, and I couldn't find it, and actually, here it is. The suit pressure gauge. Amazing, amazing. Damn. This is insane. So I'm sorry. This is being filmed now 1 day later. I was already editing my video and I decided to check again and I just found it. Beautiful. I swear the level of accuracy of this statue is out of this world. No pun intended, but it's crazy. All these stitchings, these pockets, these pouches, everything is accurate. The spacesuit is full of these little pins or buttons, whatever you want to call them. They're everywhere, all over the suit. And you know, Blitzway could have chosen the easy way out and just glue them on the fabric, kind of like buttons on those Hot Toys figures, right? But those are actually real pins, some of them holding different layers of fabric together, which makes this phenomenal. It looks so good, it's very well made, but at the same time, it's also really fragile. If you touch these too often, they will, you know, pop out and fall off. Hence, the replacements here. But trust me, it's a bitch to put them back in there. For example, this one fell out earlier. Well, actually, I found it in the box. It probably fell out during transit, but I spent like 15 or 20 minutes to put it back in there. And there's this one, and I still don't know where it comes from, but I will eventually find where it's missing. More labels here on the RCU. Fan on and off. O2 over there. And I love that color, the blue and red color here on those parts. And I'm so pissed that some of it came off when I took off that plastic earlier, but I'll have to eventually repaint them. Can't leave it like this. But still, it's beautiful. From a distance, you can't see it. But I know it now. It pisses me off, so I'll repaint them. But yeah, it's stunning. Really, absolutely stunning. Now let's take a closer look at the backpack, which was made of two different parts. like I explained earlier, the upper part here was the OPS, oxygen purge system, and that lower part, again, PLSS, personal life support system. I think they called it a PLIS. That's what it was called, a PLIS. So you can remove that outer fabric cover, but you can still open it in two different areas here, and it reveals what I think was the lithium hydroxide canister, and down there you have the water reservoir recharge checklist, and if you remove this, it reveals different connectors, and it has that accurate blue color of the inside frame, which I think was made of blue fiberglass. Now, another forgotten detail is the antenna. PLSS antenna should have been right here. So, you know, again, not something too difficult to do yourself, you know, so I'll add one myself, but still, those are things Blitzway should have thought about. Well, that's it, guys. I think I covered pretty much everything, or at least the most important parts and details of this amazing statue. Can't believe I finally have it. I've waited a long time for this. So, like I said earlier, you know, I'm a big fan of anything related to space, especially the Apollo missions. Again, you know, Neil Armstrong is one of my biggest sources of inspiration. I really admire this guy. He's probably the biggest hero who ever lived. So that's something I really wanted and needed in my collection. So owning this means a great deal to me. However, you know, I read a lot about the Apollo missions and watched tons of documentaries. So I think by memory that everything I said in this video is accurate, but just in case I said something wrong, gently correct me in the comment section, but please don't tear me a new one because, well, first and foremost, I am a big movie fan, and I'm not a NASA spacecraft or spacesuit engineer. Guys, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more videos coming soon. That was Ivan Seb, the French Collector, and I'm signing out. Peace, guys.